So the first paper is The Guardian. Obviously, they have gone with the main story of the day. Liam.
Yeah, so Trump has been found guilty of sexually assaulting...
Liable.
Or liable, sorry. Yeah, it's a civil case. It's a civil case. There's no guilty. Although he was found not liable, not guilty.
Not liable for rape.
For rape.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, he didn't really put his best foot forward. He didn't. he made it easy for the prosecution.
Yeah.
He said it was a hoax. Then admitted he just called things hoaxes because it was fun to call things hoaxes. He said he'd never met her. Then there's a photograph of him with her. He mistook her for his ex-wife. He thought the photo of her was a picture of his ex-wife, which shows that, he might not even remember meeting people that he's actually been married to. And, of course, he admitted doing similar things. And he also changed his story various times. So but did have some classic Trump moments. There was a moment when somebody was questioning him, a female prosecutor was questioning him, and he said she wasn't my type.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You're not my type either."
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah. He really does go for that angle,
trying to win them over.
Make the whole thing feel like he's just kind of batting away some accusations on a stump somewhere. And that was actually the context in which he mistook her for his wife, one of his wives, because they said, who is this you're with here?
Yeah.
And it was somebody he went on to marry and had been having an affair with. That's who he thought it was, and it was in fact the woman that was accused. So, yeah, I mean,
so it was his type.
Yeah, exactly.
After all,
that was
essentially,
Women in the 90s look very similar.
I don't know about this. I mean, I can certainly see why his enemies would pounce on it, and as you say, he's set it up. But I can also see why people who are disinclined to regard this as being a serious blow will find wriggle room.
Well, I mean, he's the pouncer.
Yeah.
Out of everybody, and he's obviously also he has to pay her $5 million.
Yes.
For it.
That's significant for him? I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of his money is tied up in gold taps.
Yeah.
Golden toilets. I'll have to sell a couple of golden toilets. So I think that $5 million is significant for anybody, really. I mean, of course, he could probably raise it in a few days by crying foul.
What do you feel about the whole... I mean, they changed the law in order to make it possible. And obviously, as we just saw there in the news, Kerry Lake, who is obviously partisan herself, but is saying that this has happened. There was no way it was going to get through as a criminal case, but it's been brought as a civil case. Even then... the jury haven't agreed that he raped her, which is what she claimed. So they've definitely said, no, she's lying, he didn't rape you, which makes me wonder how they can then find against him for defamation, because the defamation was him saying, you're lying, I didn't rape you. I find the whole thing slightly...
I guess it becomes the definition of sexual assault.
Yeah.
Is all part of it. But, I mean, by his own words, and the other thing that was in the trial where... that whole famous saying where he said, I grab, when you're a star, you can just grab people by the thing. He then said, yeah, that's what it's like. So it's never like he said it and then he's still backed it up.
Yeah.
And obviously this was how he went out and treated women. And the question now is, of course, what impact that's going to have on the election, whether he definitely gets the nomination. But at the same time...
He's gone up 7 points.
Well, this is the thing. But at the same time, that footage was out years ago.
Exactly.
And it didn't affect... so people know how he behaved.
I don't know how widespread this was. I have a very, very small data set. But I have spoken to a number of people who were under the impression that conversation was recorded secretly during the election campaign. The grab him by the pussy conversation.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years old during the election campaign. It was when he was first on Apprentice stuff, and he was trying to convince that guy that he was like a rock star.
He's trying to look cool in front
of
somebody.
But he wasn't in politics. I'm not saying it's good. It's not good. But it's not something he's saying during the election campaign.
No.
The fact that came out then and didn't derail him that time makes me wonder. I don't think this is going to be like a...
Well, the people who love him. But that's what amazes me is because, of course, go online, you say stuff about him, but I don't understand people. I can understand their going, oh, he's breaking the system up and all that stuff, but he doesn't seem like he's not a good person.
But you don't necessarily want politicians who are good people. What is a good person?
But I don't want a sex abuser.
Well, you had one with Clinton, unquestionably. You had one with JFK. They have had a history of Democratic presidents who have been at least as bad, if not worse.
Have we ever had a politician who isn't? Some kind of terrible...
Keir Starmer.
Watch this space.